and welcome to another session of tissues. Yes guys, we are already done with the plant tissues and we were discussing about the various different types of animal tissues. Yes guys, in animal tissue we discussed about the epithelial tissues, and in that epithelial tissues there are 4 different types of epithelial tissues. And I told you that epithelial tissues gives the protection to the animal world. And these epithelial tissues are of 4 types. Squamous epithelial tissues, which we already discussed in my last video. And today we'll be discussing about cuboidal epithelial tissue and columnar epithelial tissues. So exactly, dear children, there are 4 types of epithelial tissues. How many types? 4. Yes, in animal tissue, the first one is epithelial tissue. And how many types of epithelial tissues are there? There are 4 different types of epithelial tissue. The first one is your squamous epithelial tissue. The second one, the cuboidal epithelial tissue. The third one is your columnar epithelial tissue. And the last type of epithelial tissue is ciliated epithelial tissue. Yes guys, clear? Yes, animal tissues are again of different types, just like we discussed in the plant cell. What do we discuss in the plant cell? Yes, remember, meristematic tissue, permanent tissue, simple permanent tissue, complex permanent tissue, all these we discussed. In the same way, animal tissues are also of many types, of which the first type of animal tissue is epithelial tissue. Done. And in that epithelial tissue, there are 4 subcategories. Yes, the first category which we already discussed in my last video is your squamous epithelial tissue. There we read simple squamous epithelial tissue and stratified squamous epithelial tissue. Yes, the first one, squamous epithelial tissue. And second one, cuboidal epithelial tissue. The third one, columnar epithelial tissue. And the fourth one, ciliated epithelial tissues. So today in this session, we are going to discuss about cuboidal epithelial tissue and columnar epithelial tissue. So let's start with the cuboidal epithelial tissue. Simply we know epithelial tissue means giving protection. That is the main first most important function of epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue means providing protection. Now, what is cuboidal epithelial tissue? Cuboidal, the word itself says the cells are in cube shape. You all have seen ice cubes. Yes, what is the shape of ice cubes? It's simply cube shape or not? Yes. The cells are just similar to the shape of an ice cube, that is cube shape. Yes. So, in cuboidal epithelial tissue, the word itself suggests that the cells are cube shaped. The cells are ice cube in size. Cube shaped structure. You already read in maths the cube shape. Yes. So, the cells are cube-like structure, tall and wide cells. You can see the diagram here. Yes. It's tall cells. You can see these are tall cells, tall cube cells. Yes, the cells are very tall, wide, very broad, very wide. Yes, they are tall, wide, broad cells and tall. Yes, how are the cells? The cells are cube-like. First things you have to write, the cells are cube in shape. They are tall, they are wide, and where are they found? And the most important thing, you can easily see the red color. The red color one is the nucleus. They have got a very definite nucleus with cytoplasm. The nucleus is clearly visible to you guys. Yes. So the cells are tall. The cells are wide. They have got well defined nucleus with cytoplasm. In which case, cuboidal epithelial tissue. Yes guys, in cuboidal epithelial tissue, as the word itself suggests, cuboidal, cube-shaped cells. And that cube-like cells are tall and wide with a well-defined nucleus with particular cytoplasm. And as we know, and I have already told you that all these cells lie on the basement membrane. This is what your basement membrane. All the cells lies in the basement membrane. Yes. So the cells are cube-like, the cells are tall, the cells are wide, the cells have got nucleus, the cells have got cytoplasm, and all of it lies over a basement membrane. These are the structure you need to write. But now the question is, where are they found? Yes, sweat glands. Yes, sweat glands, you know, it secretes sweat in our body. Yes, sweat gland secretes sweat. So, sweat gland is made up of your cuboidal epithelial tissue. And then, sweat glands, salivary glands, saliva. Yes, when something very tasty come across us, we start salivating, we start watering. Yes, saliva is secreted by a gland and the name of that gland is salivary gland. It's present in our mouth. Yes. So, salivary gland, sweat glands are made up of your cuboidal epithelial tissue, means they are found in sweat gland and salivary glands, and also in thyroid glands. Thyroid glands is simply a butterfly shaped structure which is present in the neck. Then, sweat gland inside our body which secretes sweat, and salivary glands in our mouth which secretes saliva. Thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is present in our neck. It is in the shape of a butterfly. It's a butterfly-shaped structure which secretes a hormone called thyroxine. Thyroid gland secretes the hormone called thyroxine. Just like sweat gland secretes sweat, salivary gland secretes saliva, and your thyroid gland, which is present in the neck, secretes your what? Thyroxine hormone. Yes, so the thyroid gland is also made up of your cuboidal epithelial tissue. And where it is present? Lining of kidney tubules. What does it mean? Lining of kidney tubules. I already told you what does lining means. Internal coating. Remember? Or forgot? I told you protection means the outer coating and lining means inner coating. Yes. So where it is present? In lining of kidney tubules. You all have seen the structure of kidney. Yes. Our kidney. Yes. Suppose this is the kidney. Our kidney is made up of millions of tube-like structure which is called as your nephron, and that is made up of ciliated epithelial tissue. Yes. So where it is found? With me. Come on. Sweat gland, salivary gland, thyroid gland, and inner lining of kidney tubules. So inside kidney, number of tube-like structure are present, and that tubes are made up of your cuboidal epithelial tissues. Got it? Occurrence we know, structure we know. What is the function? You can easily say, ma'am, yes, absorption, secretion and protection. Protection, as we know, it's the most important task of this epithelial tissue that you will write. Protection, it provides protection. Secretion, I told you, sweat gland secretes sweat, thyroid gland secretes thyroxine, your salivary gland secretes saliva, and it also helps in the absorption of the nutrients. So this is the most particular important functions of your cuboidal epithelial tissue. So cuboidal epithelial tissue, what you are going to write is the structure. Cube-like, done. Tall, done. Wide, done. Nucleus, present. Cytoplasm, good. Yes. Found sweat gland, salivary glands, thyroid gland which is present in the neck, and also in the lining of kidney tubules. Function, absorption, secretion and protection are the main functions performed by this cuboidal epithelial tissue, and all the cells lies on the basement membrane. Clear? So now let's move on to the third type of epithelial tissue, that is columnar epithelial tissue. Yes, this one. Columnar epithelial, the third type of epithelial tissue of animal tissue is your columnar epithelial tissue. I think you can easily see. These are all tall pillar-like columnar, the name itself suggests these are column in shape. Yes, these are tall. These are tall pillar-like, just like as our house pillar. They are tall pillar-like structures. How are the cells? They are tall pillar-like wide cells. So in columnar epithelial tissues, the cells are column-like, pillar-like, wide, tall cells. Yes, and where do they found? Of course, now comes the occurrence. Where is this columnar epithelial tissue found? In the lining of intestine. And you all know intestine are of two types, small intestine and large intestine. So they are internally lined by this columnar epithelial tissue, as well as the stomach is also lined by your columnar epithelial tissue. Got it? Where it is found? Where it is the inner lining of intestine and inner lining of stomach. And it is made up of your columnar epithelial tissues. And it performs the same function as the cuboidal epithelial tissue. Absorption, secretion and protection. Got it? So the third most type of your animal tissue is your columnar epithelial tissue. The word itself suggests that they are tall. They are tall, pillar-like. Yes, wide cells. Tall, pillar-like, wide cells. And also they are lying over the basement membrane. They are also lying over the basement membrane. They have got well-defined nucleus. They have got cytoplasm. But where they are found? They are found in the inner lining of intestine and stomach. And same function, secretion, protection and absorption. Done? I hope you got clear about both the two types of your animal tissues. So we are done with your squamous epithelial tissue. Done? Over. The second is your cuboidal epithelial tissue. We are done. The third is your columnar epithelial tissue. And the last one is ciliated epithelial tissue that we are going to discuss right now. The only thing is that you need to remember the structure, occurrence and function of each and every tissue. So without further delay, let's start the last one, ciliated epithelial tissue. So now let's see the last type of epithelial tissue, that is ciliated epithelial tissue. What is it? Where it is present? What is its function? Ciliated epithelial tissue. Yes, epithelial tissue. Now we are clear about epithelial tissue. N number of times I am speaking epithelial tissue, and its function is nothing but giving protection. But what is this ciliated epithelial tissues? What is ciliated? Ciliated means what? Okay. Ciliated means cilia. Here you can see the word cilia. Cilia is nothing but a hair-like structure. Yes, and wherever cilia is present, wherever this hair-like present, it helps in movement. So, from the name called cilia, this epithelial tissue is named as ciliated epithelial tissue, and cilia is a hair-like projection. Yes, cilia is nothing but a very thin hair-like projection which helps in the movement of a particle inside the cell, which helps in the rhythmic movement of a particle inside the cells. I can show you. And generally, what is the structure of this ciliated epithelial cells means? The cells may be cube in structure or columnar in structure. Just now we have discussed about the cube-shaped structure cell and the pillar-like column structures of the cell. So here in case of ciliated epithelial tissue, the cells may be either in the cube shape or maybe in the column shape. Yes, the cells may be columnar in shape or the cells may be cuboidal in shape. Yes, it may be either cuboidal or columnar cells. But the most important thing is that they have got the hair-like projection called cilia, and from that the name is given as ciliated epithelial tissue. So you can see the diagram over here. Yes, it is column-shaped cells. Inside it, you can see the red color structure, that is nothing but a nucleus. It has got well-defined nucleus, cytoplasm. The most important thing is that they have got cilia. They have got the hair-like projection. You can see this hair-like projection. This hair-like projection is nothing but your cilia. Yes, that hair-like projection is called cilia. And what is the main function of cilia? Means it helps in the movement of any substances which is present in the cell. Yes, so generally it's a cube-shaped structure or column-shaped structure which possesses cilia, which possesses cilia, which helps in the movement. And another thing to remember is that they lies on free surface. They don't have your basement membrane. They don't have your basement membrane. They lie on free. Up to now, I told you that all the cells lies on the basement membrane. But it's an exception case. You have to remember that the ciliated epithelial tissue needs a free surface. Yes, because they are moving, guys. Yes, the cilia are there. They helps in the movement. So they need a free surface area. So they are not lying on the basement membrane. They are lying on a free surface area. They are column shape, cube shape, hair-like projection called cilia are present, which helps in the movement. So what are you gonna write in the structure? It's a cuboidal or columnar cells. Done. Cells have cilia on free surface. They don't lie on the basement membrane. And they are hair-like projection, and these cilia helps in the movement. Now the question arises, where are they found? They are found in some different important places called respiratory tract, urinary tubules of kidney, and fallopian tubules. Difficult. Some difficult names are there, but I will make you easy. First, let's see where it is present. First of all, it is found in respiratory tract. Respiratory tract, yes. All of you know about lungs, nose and all. That is what the respiratory tract involves, yes. So from our nasal cavity, what happens whenever we are breathing in or breathing out, yes. So the nose is the main organ for it, yes. And the hole inside that is called as cavity. From that cavity, when the air moves inside, yes, there is a long tube-like structure that is called trachea or windpipe. And that trachea or windpipe finally leads into left lungs and right lung. So this from the nasal cavity to the lungs, this entire tract is called as your respiratory tract. So where do respiratory tract starts from? From the nasal cavity and ends in the lungs. And that nasal cavity inner lining is made up of your ciliated epithelial tissue, because here movement is required. You will ask, ma'am, how? What is the necessity of movement in respiratory tract? See guys, so in our nose mucus is there. Yes, whenever we suffer from cold, yes, mucus is secreted or not? So in mucus is there inside our nose. And what is the main function of that mucus is that it makes the entire respiratory tract or respiratory path lubricated for the easy movement. Mucus help in the lubrication of the respiratory tract. So mucus need to move. Yes, and for that movement, who is responsible? Our ciliated epithelial tissue. For the movement of the mucus in the respiratory tract, ciliated epithelial tissue is necessary, and hence the respiratory tract is made up of your ciliated epithelial tissue. Because we know cilia helps in movement. Cilia helps in the rhythmic movement of substances. Yes, it takes the particles from one place to another by moving, by flapping the cilia. Yes, so this respiratory tract is made up of your ciliated epithelial tissue. Done? Clear about respiratory tract? Now let's move on to urinary tubules of kidney. Just now I explained you. Kidney is made up of a number of tube-like structure. Yes, kidney is made up of number of, that is called nephron, and their inner lining is also made up of your ciliated epithelium. You will ask me, ma'am, what is the necessity of movement here in kidney? Urine. Urine need to move, and who helps that movement? Ciliated epithelial tissue. And hence kidney is lined by, the tubules of kidney are lined by ciliated epithelial tissue. And the next one, fallopian tubule. I think it's a new thing for you. What is fallopian tubes? Yes, you all know about the male reproductive structure and the female reproductive structure. So fallopian tubules, first of all, is a part of your female reproductive structure. Done? Yes or no? So it's a part of your female reproductive structure. Then we know about ovaries. Yes, in females, yes, a pair of ovary is present, and ovary helps in the formation of egg or ova. We know female reproductive structure, 2 ovaries. Ovaries produces eggs, and eggs need to be reached to the uterus. Yes, suppose there are 2 ovaries. Yes, egg is produced. The egg is need to be reached to the uterus. Yes, and that tube which join the ovary and the uterus is called fallopian tubule, and for the movement of the egg from the ovary to the uterus in the tubule is done by your ciliated epithelial tissue. Understood? First of all, fallopian tubule, you have to remember it's a part of female reproductive structure. Clear? Female reproductive structure has got a pair of ovaries. Yes. Third point, ovaries produces egg. Ovary produces egg, but egg need to reach to the uterus. Yes. So from ovary to uterus, a tube is connected. That tube is called fallopian tube. For the movement of these egg in the fallopian tubule, ciliated epithelial tissue is there, and hence fallopian tubule is made up of your ciliated epithelial tissue because it helps in the movement, guys. Yes. So these are the places where we can find the ciliated epithelial tissue because it helps in the movement. Now, what is the main function? We have discussed movement of the mucus, urine, egg. Yes. And how do they move? They move by the rhythmic flapping of the cilia. Understood, dear children? Ciliated epithelial tissue is nothing but it's made up of columnar cells or cuboidal cells, and these cilia are generally have cilia means hair-like projection which helps in the movement. Mainly found in your respiratory tract, kidney tubules and fallopian tubules. It helps in the movement of the mucus in the respiratory tract, urine in the kidney tubules and the egg in the fallopian tubules. Understood? And I hope, guys, today's session is very, very useful for you. Yes, just listen it to once again and again and again and learn it and note down the points. It will be easy for you. So, we will meet again with another type of animal tissue. Until then, stay home,